Dear students, once again, good afternoon. Welcome to the Corporate Finance 2 class. So we will start from the previous class where we stopped. So previous class we discussed about which model? We discussed about Walters model. So Walters model is a relevance theory which says that the dividend policy of the company will affect the share value of the company or the market value of the firm. Okay, and then we solved two problems, and the second problem I told you to do the last two options as a homework. Okay, let me just give a revision, the summary of the problem what we solved. So value of the firm we are done for three situations. First one when the R is greater than K naught, and second one R is equal to K naught, that is 10% is equal to 10%, and the third one R is lesser than K naught, 8% and 10%. And our first scenario when DPR, that is what is DPR? Dividend payout ratio. Dividend payout ratio is 0%. How much we got the P value? Price. How much we got the price? So we got the price 520, and then for second scenario 400 and third scenario 320. Yes, I have done this on the board last class. Then second, when DPR is 25%. So first scenario we got 490 rupees. Second scenario we got 400, and third scenario we got 340 rupees. Correct? And the third scenario we got 475. Then second scenario we got 400 and 350. And then fourth scenario when DPR is 50%. So whatever they are earning, they are giving 50% as a dividend. So first scenario we got 460 rupees, second scenario we got again 400, and third scenario we got 360. Yes? Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. And then the homework what I gave, when DPR is 75%, that means if you are earning 100 rupees as a profit, as a revenue, you are giving 75% of that, or 75 rupees as dividend, and 25 rupees, what will happen to 25 rupees? What about 25 rupees? That will become retained earnings. Yeah, that will be. Yeah, please continue. Shubham, please continue. Sam, Shubham.
Sir,
Yeah, what will happen to the remaining 25%?
the will retain it and use for diversification of
Yeah, that will become retained earnings. Okay, so we got price of the share 430 for first scenario, second scenario we got 400, and third scenario we got rupees 380. And the last scenario, that is 100%. That means whatever they are earning, they are giving everything as dividend. Company is not retaining any revenue to the company. Okay, so in that case we got P as 400 in all the three cases. You can see there, first case 400, second case again 400, third case also again 400. Okay, so that is your we are done for all the scenario. Understood? So I think all of you are clear with the calculation part. Now I'll teach you how to write the interpretation, how to interpret this and how to give the interpretation. So we'll give for the first column. What is first column? When R is greater than K naught, that means my earning capacity is more than the cost. That means my internal rate of return or the return on investment is greater than cost of capital. That is R is 13% and the cost of capital is 10%. So what happened now? Can you just observe here what is happening to the price of the share? When DPR is 0, how much is the price of the share? 520. Yes. When DPR becomes 25%, what will happen to the share of the price? The share price will become 490. Then C, when it becomes 37.5, then what will happen to the price of the share? It again decrease to 475. And further, fourth one, if it is 50%, what happened? The price will become 460. Again, there is a decrease. And the second last case, when DPR is 75, the price becomes 430. And the last case, it becomes 400. So what you can see from the beginning, from 0 to 100%, the price is increasing or decreasing? The stock price. The stock price is decreasing. Why? Why stock price is decreasing when DPR is increasing? Can someone tell me why the stock price is decreasing when DPR is increasing?
Because the firm is growing.
The firm is growing, okay.
And the price of the share will increase if the firm keeps on growing.
But here it is decreasing, no? Your price is not increasing, it is decreasing. No, your logic is correct, but the price, what you said, is not correct. The firm is growing, that's correct. Why the price is decreasing?
So lots of demand.
Lot of demand for what? For dividend? Okay, so Walter model, I think we discussed last class. So what is Walter model says? For growth firm, if it is R is greater than K naught, what will happen? What is the optimum policy for them? What will be the dividend optimum policy? Can you just see here, when is the stock price highest? When it is 0 or when it is 100? 0 is 520 and 100 is how much? 100 is 400. That means which is the optimum dividend policy for this company? 0 or 100% DPR?
0.
It is 0. That's correct. Why it is 0? Because when it is 0, my price is highest. When I start giving dividends, okay, then what happens? My price of the company share price is decreasing. So what will give the conclusion? So what is the optimum dividend policy for this kind of company? It is 0 dividend payout ratio. If you give 0 dividend, you will be having the maximum share price. For the firm where ROI is greater than K naught, the share price declines with the increase in dividend per share. Your share price will decrease if you increase your dividend per share. Got it? So the optimum dividend payout ratio is how much? 0%. Because in 0%, my share price is highest, that is 520. Correct? Understood now how to write the conclusion? Yeah. Then second one, what happened to the second company, second scenario? What is second scenario? When R is equal to K naught, that is my earning capacity is 10% and my cost of the capital is also 10%. Both are same. So what is happening now? You can just have a glance on that. For when DPR is 0%, it is 400. When it is 25, it is 400. When it is 37, again 400. When it is 50, again 400. When it is 75, 400. When it is 100, again it is 400. So what you can see there, the stock price is constant. It is not either going up or coming down. It's not increasing or decreasing. So what is the optimum dividend policy for this company? Or this kind of scenario? When R is equal to K naught.
Any policy is optimum.
Any policy is optimum, okay? Whether they give 0% dividend or they give 100% or they give 75%, it doesn't matter. So what is the dividend policy for them? For this kind of company, there is no any optimum dividend payout ratio. Okay, so whatever they give is the optimum for them. Because for the normal firm, these are called normal firm when R is equal to K naught. For the normal firm, which is highly impractical actually, normal firm to be highly impractical because it will not be always equal. If it is equal for this kind of company, there is no any optimum dividend payout ratio. Got it? Understood, students? Yes or no? Understood the normal case? Now we'll go to the declining case where the return on investment of the company is decreasing but the cost is increasing. That means my R is lesser than K naught. So in the third scenario, R is 8% and K naught is 10%. So what is happening here now? When DPR is 0%, the share price is 320. Then DPR is 25, it is 340. And then DPR is 37.5%. The share price increased to 350. The next 50% DPR, the share price is 360. 75%, it is 380. And then when DPR is 100%, it is 400. So what you can see the trend here, whether it's an increasing trend or decreasing trend for third case. Yeah. So here you can see now when R is lesser than K naught, what happens is for this company, what is the optimum dividend policy? Can you guess? Is it 0%, 25% or 37 or 50 or 75 or 100? It is 100. Why do you say that?
Because it has the highest share price.
Yeah, when the DPR is 100%, my share price is increased to maximum, that is rupees 400. That means what? What does it shows? That shows that for the declining situation, for the declining firm, the maximum dividend policy is 100%. Do you agree? Thus, for optimum dividend payout ratio is 100% for declining firm. Got it? Because when the dividend payout ratio become 100%, my share price become maximum. It increase my share price. Got it? Start the second model of relevance theory, dividend relevance theory. So Gordon's dividend capitalization model, that was proposed by Professor Gordon. Yeah, so Gordon's dividend capitalization model is also one of the model of relevance theory. So the model says that when the company issues the dividends, it will going to affect the value of the firm. So dividend payout ratio is having the direct effect on the value of the firm. So it is also known as a bird in the hand theory. What is bird in the hand theory? Bird in the hand theory normally we use in time value of money. So bird in the hand theory says that there are two birds. One bird is in your hand, another bird is there in the tree. So which is more appropriate, which is more probable that you are going to get the return? The bird in the hand or the bird in the bush? For example, the bird in the hand will give you say 10% return. The bird in the bush maybe give you say 12% return. But which one will you prefer? The bird in the hand or the bird in the bush? Which one will you prefer? So normally we prefer the bird in the hand because it means already the particular investment is already in my hand and I already have guaranteed of 10% return. And the bird in the bush is which is going to come in the future. And whether you're going to capture that bird or not, it is again probability is nobody knows. Probability may be 90% or 0% also. The moment you go near to the bush, the bird may run away, the bird may start flying and go away. You may not be able to catch, you may fail in capturing the bird. But the bird which is already in your hand, you are already 100% sure that 10% you are already going to get the return. That is bird in the hand. So the risk is more when you want to get the bird in the bush, but the bird in the hand, the risk is zero because already you have that, it is already guaranteed. Already your bird is there in your hand. Okay, that is called bird in the hand theory. Is it clear? So one of the most popular mathematical model which is used for calculating the value of the company is this particular model which is given by Gordon. And the model explicitly relates the market value of the firm to its dividend policy. So market value of the firm will be affected by the dividend policy. The market value of the firm will go up, okay, based on your scenario of your company, based on your dividend policy. Okay, the dividend policy will definitely affect your market value. And the determinants of the market value of the share are the perpetual stream of future dividends. Yeah, so the determinants of market value of the share are nothing but your perpetual, the continuous stream of cash inflows in the form of dividend, the future dividends what will be paid. The second one, determinant is the cost of capital, and the third is the growth rate of the company. Okay. And the formula given to calculate the value of the firm, the market value of the share, you can see there it is P naught is equal to E1 into 1 minus B divided by K minus BR. So P naught is nothing but the market price per share, and E1 is expected earning per share at the time T, and B is retention ratio, and 1 minus B is the expectation, the percentage of earnings distributed as dividends, the percentage 1 minus B, and E into 1 minus B, when you multiply you will get the expected dividend per share at the time T, and K is your cost of capital or the capitalization rate, and when you multiply B into R, it is called as growth rate. You will get the growth rate on the investment of an all equity firm. Okay, that is the formula to determine the price of the share. And the relation of dividend decision and the value of the firm, you can see there the summary is given. When your R is again greater than K naught, okay, and you can see the second column whether there is an increase in dividend payout ratio. The dividend payout ratio is increasing. So what will happen to your price? You can see there first scenario when R is greater than K naught, the price per share will decrease. And R is lesser than K naught, the price per share will increase when you increase your dividend payout ratio. And third one, when R is equal to K naught, no change in the price per share. This is the relationship between the R and K naught you can see there. Okay, and based on their effect on the dividend payout ratio. Okay. So the summary is the Gordon's theory of dividend policy is one of the most prominent theory which is used in the companies to value the company. It is also used to calculate the cost of equity of the firm, because we know the earning, we know the retention ratio, we know the K naught, and we know the if you know the P1. If you know the P1, I can just cross multiply. I can calculate the value of the cost of equity. And though it comes with a lot of limitations, and it's widely accepted by a lot of the companies are using it to calculate the market price of the share using the forecasted dividends. Okay, that is the Gordon's model. So what you can find out in the Gordon's model, what is similarity and what is dissimilar to the Walters model. Walters model also is the relevance model, and Gordon's model is also relevance model. What are the main difference in both of them? In this case, he is using the retention ratio. Okay, in the Gordon's model, they use the retention ratio, and the retention ratio will determine your value of the firm. Okay, when you are using more retention, when you are retaining more and more the earnings in the company, how it is going to affect your dividend policy. Okay, and the formula is also different. As I said in the earlier, the formula I showed in the earlier, P naught is equal to E1 into 1 minus B, that is B is retention ratio, divided by K naught minus BR. That is the formula you are going to use it. In the previous question, the formula was different. Okay. So now we'll try to do one small problem before we wind up. Yeah. So I'll just give a summary once again. So Gordon's dividend calculation model is also a relevance model, where it says the market value of the firm will be affected based on your dividend payout ratio. If your dividend payout ratio is increasing or decreasing, similarly even your market value of the company will decrease or increase. Again, based on the three components. Here the three components are the one is the dividend future dividends, what the company is going to declare in the future. Second, the cost of capital and the growth rate. Okay. And the formula you can see, which is used for calculating the market value of the share, that is P naught is equal to E1 into 1 minus B divided by K minus BR. What is P1? The P1 is nothing but market price per share. E1 is earning per share at the time T, and B is retention ratio. What is retention ratio? Can someone tell me?
The amount, the percentage at which the firm retains its profit.
Yes, yes.
Out of that total profit.
For example, my earning is say rupees 100. If my B is say 20%, that means out of 100, okay, 100 into 20% will be 20 rupees. That means this much I am going to retain, and remaining 80 rupees I am going to declare as dividends to the shareholders. This is called as retention ratio. 20% is nothing but retention ratio. Out of 100 rupees of my earning, 20 rupees I am going to give as keep it as retention. Remaining 80 rupees I will be giving to shareholders as a dividends. Is it clear? That is B. So when I multiply B into R, I will get the growth rate. At what rate the earnings you are going to get if you invest in this particular company. So retention ratio into R is nothing but your rate of return. Okay, internal rate of return, and you multiply, you get the growth rate. Is it clear? And then E1 into 1 minus B is nothing but expected dividend per share at the time T. And K0 is nothing but cost of capital, you already know, overall cost of capital. And B into R is growth rate. Is it clear? Any doubt in the formula?
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, you can see there just relation between dividend decision and the value of the firm. In the first column, you can see relation between R and K0, whether R and K is increasing, decreasing, or equal. Second second column, you can see there the price per share. Okay, whether when there is an increase in dividend payout, what will happen to the price per share? That means the dividend payout ratio is increasing. This B is increasing. If B increases, say from 10% to 20%, then 30%, then it will go up to 100%. If B is increasing, what will happen to what will happen to my price of the share? So here it is. Sorry, the price. So what will happen to my dividend payout ratio? That is your DPR. When my DPR is increasing, what will happen to the P? Whether P will increase or decrease or no change. That is what you can see there. So if my DPR is increasing, it is keep on increasing, what will happen to the P? So the main condition is R and K0. These two are the components. So if my R is greater than K0, what will happen to my price if my dividend payout ratio is increasing? The price will decrease. If it is keep on increasing, the DPR is increasing, then the price will fall down. And the DPR is decreasing, price will increase when it is R is less than K0. This is R is greater than K0. And the DPR is equal and P will also be constant. That is R is equal to K0. Okay. So DPR is same. Then what happened? Your price will also be constant when the K0 is equal to R is equal to K0. No change in the price. Whether you increase or decrease your share, your dividend payout ratio. Is it clear? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Next, you can see the summary. The same. It is as I said earlier. This is also one of the dividend payout dividend theory, which says it is one of the prominently used theory, which is used for valuation of the company. And though it comes limitations we'll discuss. I already given the notes. You can read that limitations because it has a lot of limitations. Like you cannot say they assume that tax is constant, tax is zero, and they say your K0 is constant, but K0 cannot be constant. This particular theory assumes that they don't have any external financing. All the finance is done by retained earnings. Whatever they are retaining it as earnings, they are going to use as the finance. Okay, they don't have any external financing. Again, it's a limitation because it may not be always comfortable for all the companies to depend only on the retained earnings. Okay, clear? So these are but still this one of the models is used for market price calculation using the forecasted dividend. So here you have to forecast the dividends. Is it clear? So now we'll just take up one small problem before we wind up. So shall we read the problem? Are you able to see now the question and the audio is clear?
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So there is one company here. We don't know the name of the company. A firm has given the following information and requested you to determine the share price of the company under the Gordon's model. So he has given for us earning per share ₹10, retention ratio 40%. That means 40% is retention ratio. So how much is DPR, dividend payout ratio?
60%.
Yeah. So this is your B, that is retention ratio. Then 80 will be your DPR. AT will be your DPR. Okay, and then capitalization rate is 15% and return on investment is 14%. Yeah, just write down this question. I'll wipe the board and I can do it on the board. Please go through the question and write down the questions in your note. But earning per share, how much is earning per share in this question? How much? 10 rupees into 1 minus B. B is what? How much is B?
40%.
B nothing but your retention ratio. Retention ratio 40%. How do you write that? 0, convert it into decimal and write 0.40 divided by K naught. How much is K naught? Capitalization rate 0.15 minus B into R. What is B into R? Nothing but your G, growth rate. So B is how much? 0.40 into R is how much? What is R? Return on investment. 0.14%. 14% it is 0.14. So please simplify and calculate how much is the answer. All of you please calculate. So 10 into 1 minus 0.40 it is 1 minus 0.40 is 0.6. So 0.6 into 10 is how much? 6 rupees. Calculate further 0.15 into 0.4 into 0.10. How much will get? How much will get numerator?
0.094, sir.
0.094. Please divide it, you will get the price.
63.82.
3?
63.83.
63.83. So we can round it off to rupees 64. So the price of the share is 64. Got it? When your retention ratio is 40% and your earning is 10 rupees, in the 10 rupees that means out of rupees 10, okay, I'm keeping 40 rupees, 4 rupees as retention, okay, and remaining 6 rupees will be dividend. In this formula, dividend is nowhere available here. You can see, cannot see anywhere dividend D here. In the Walters model, he has given D, but here he has not given. But here more focus is on the retention, because this model says that the company depends more on the retained earnings. They don't have any external financing. Whatever they earn, they try to retain, and whatever they're retaining it, from that they want to use for the future expenses of the company, future development of the company. Understood? How to calculate the price of the share, market price of the share under Gordon's model? Is it clear? Any doubt?
Yes, sir, no doubt.
Okay. Yeah. Shall you take the second question? What does the second question says? From the following information of S&N Limited, calculate company's share value. Okay, so now company name is given. S&N is a company, and earning per share is again 10 rupees. Cost of capital is 15%. What is cost of capital here? R or K naught? 15% is what? K naught.
K.
Yeah. And R is how much?
16%, 15%, 14%.
Yeah. R he has given 3 scenarios. In first scenario, R is 16%. Second scenario, 15%. And then third scenario is 14%. And down what he has given in the table, he has given again 6 different dividend payout ratios and retention ratio. Dividend payout ratio nothing but 1 minus B. When I do 1 minus B, I'll get the dividend payout ratio, and retention ratio is given. Okay. So the first case he has given dividend payout ratio 10%. That means out of 100, 10% I'm giving as dividend. So remaining 90% will be retained. That's what you can see there. 90% is retention ratio. Second, 20% I'm giving as dividend. Remaining 80% will be my retention ratio. And third one, 30% I'm giving it as dividends. Remaining 70% of the earnings I'm keeping it as my retention ratio. And fourth one, 40% I'm giving as dividend. Remaining 60% I'm keeping it as a retention ratio, retained earnings. 60% will be retained earnings. Then fifth one, 50% is retention, 50% is dividend payout. And the last one is dividend is higher. Dividend is given more, but the retention ratio is very small. 20% is only retained earnings. Understood? Understood the question? How will you solve this question now? How will you solve this question? Is only 10 rupees, cost is 15 is constant. That means 15% cost of capital is constant for all the three scenarios of R, when R is 16, 15 and 14. And DPR is different. Okay, DPR we have to substitute separately. So in the first case is where R is 16% and cost of capital is 15%. That means is it a growing scenario or declining scenario? Compare these two. R is 16 and K0 is 15. That means R is greater than K0. Is it growing form or a declining form? Yeah, please tell.
Growing.
It is growing form. And third one is normal form because both are 15%. Last one is declining form because my R is lesser than K0. So we will solve this same like your question number 2. Question number 2, how we solve? Same way we will solve this also in the tabular column. Okay, so we'll do that in the next class. Okay, thank you once again for joining and take care. Be safe.
Take care, sir.